My parents spent $38,000 on my brother's wedding ice sculptures, alive band centerpieces that cost more than my monthly rent. When I asked for $4,200 to cover the portion of my surgery that insurance wouldn't, my mother said, "We will have to see what we can do, see what we can do." Like I was asking for a vacation, not medical care that had already been scheduled for 6 months. 3 weeks before my surgery, my father handed my brother a check with 5 figures on it. I was in the room. Dad didn't even lower his voice. For the honeymoon upgrade, son, you only get married once. I had been having symptoms for 14 months. I need to go back because the doctor who walked into my hospital room 20 minutes after my surgery changed everything. But you need to understand what led to that moment and why, when he asked one simple question, my entire family structure collapsed in under 5 minutes. I am Maya. I am 29. If you are watching this, please subscribe to Echo of Justice Stories and let me know where you are watching from, because what happened in that hospital room needs to be heard, and I am still processing it. We are from Belridge, Pennsylvania, a mid-sized town where your family's reputation matters more than your individual accomplishments. My parents, Linda and Robert Castellano, run a successful commercial real estate business. 3 properties in the downtown corridor, annual income somewhere north of $400,000. We weren't rich, but we were comfortable, very comfortable. Our house on Whitmore Avenue has 5 bedrooms. My brother Ethan got the master suite on the 2nd floor when he turned 16. His own bathroom, a walk-in closet. My mother had it renovated that summer. New floors, custom shelving, a desk built into the wall that cost $2,100. I kept the same room I had had since childhood. 12 by 10 feet, one window that looked onto the neighbor's fence, wallpaper from 2003 that was starting to peel near the ceiling. When I asked in college if I could repaint, Mom said, "You are barely here anymore." What's the point? Ethan lived at home until he was 26. The favoritism wasn't loud. It was paperwork. It was budget allocation. It was the math that never balanced when you looked at it too closely. Ethan's college fully paid Penn State 4 years room and board fraternity dues study abroad semester in Spain. Total cost approximately $110,000. My college state school commuter student worked 23 hours a week at a campus bookstore to cover what my partial scholarship didn't. My parents contributed $8,000 total over 4 years. When I asked why the difference, my father said Ethan is studying business. He will be taking over the company. That's an investment. And I am studying what? I said education. Dad replied like that explained everything. You will have a steady job. Teachers don't need the same runway. I became a 4th grade teacher. I love my job. I make $43,000 a year. Ethan joined the family business and drives a company car, a leased Audi A4, black dealer plates refreshed every 2 years. I drive a 2011 Subaru with 140,000 miles that I bought used. I didn't keep score at first, but then the symptoms started, and suddenly every dollar I had never been given mattered. It started in March 2 years ago. I was in the middle of a lesson on fractions when I felt it, a sharp twisting pain in my lower abdomen that made me grip the edge of my desk. One of my students, a girl named Chloe with glasses and a concerningly advanced vocabulary, noticed immediately, "Miss Castellano, are you okay?" "You look pale." I smiled. "I am fine, sweetheart. Just stood up too fast." The pain lasted 11 seconds, then it was gone. It came back 3 days later, then a week after that, then twice in one day. By June, I was having episodes 4 times a week. Some lasting minutes, some just long enough to make me stop whatever I was doing and breathe through it. I went to my general practitioner, Dr. Huang, a woman in her 50s with zero tolerance for vague complaints. "Describe the pain," she said, fingers already on the keyboard, sharp, sometimes stabbing, sometimes like pressure. "Lower left abdomen." She ordered an ultrasound, then a CT scan. Then referred me to a specialist. Dr. Brennan's office was in the medical complex off Route 19. I waited 40 minutes past my appointment time. When he finally walked in, he spent 90 seconds looking at my scans and said, "You have a complex ovarian cyst, possibly endometriosis. We need to do a laparoscopic surgery to remove it and get a biopsy." I was holding my phone. My hands were shaking. "Is it dangerous if it ruptures?" "Yes, it could cause internal bleeding infection. We shouldn't wait." The surgery was scheduled for November 14th, 6 months out, because Dr. Brennan's schedule was packed and my case, while urgent, was an emergency level. The total cost $11,800. My insurance covered $7,600. I owed $4,200. Ethan proposed to his girlfriend Vanessa in August. He did it at a vineyard 2 hours north during a weekend trip that my parents paid for. The ring cost $7,400, I know, because my mother showed me the receipt beaming, "Isn't it stunning?" 2 carats. Ethan has such good taste. The wedding was set for October 12th, 5 weeks before my surgery. The planning consumed everything. Every Sunday dinner became a logistics meeting, save the dates, invitations, floral arrangements, seating charts, menu tastings. My mother made a shared Google Drive folder. I was added to it, but never asked for input. Vanessa wanted a fall wedding at Loyola Estate, a venue 40 minutes outside Belridge that cost $18,000 just for the space. The guest list grew to 210 people. One Sunday, I was at my parents' house helping fold programs when my mother's phone rang. She answered on speaker. It was the wedding planner, Linda, just confirming the final payment for the band, $6,200 due next week. Mom didn't blink. "I will send the check tomorrow." After she hung up, I said it quietly because I had been holding it for 3 weeks. "Mom, I still need help with the surgery cost." She looked up from the programs. "We are in the middle of wedding expenses, Maya. Can it wait?" "The surgery is in November. It can't wait. How much do you need again?" $4,200. She exhaled through her nose. The sound she made when I was asking for something inconvenient. "I will talk to your father." She never did. 2 weeks later, I tried again. This time with my father. He was in the garage organizing tools on his pegboard. He has always been a man of systems. Every wrench in size, order, every drill bit labeled. "Dad," I wanted to follow up about the surgery. He didn't turn around. "Your mother and I talked. Money's tight with the wedding." I watched him hang a socket wrench on a hook. "You are spending $38,000 on the wedding. That's different." "How?" Now he turned around. His face wasn't angry. It was worse. It was patient, like he was explaining something to a child who didn't understand budgets. "Ethan's wedding is a once-in-a-lifetime event, Maya. It's important to your mother. It's important to the business. We are inviting clients, partners. This is about more than just a party and my surgery. Can't you set up a payment plan with the hospital?" I could feel my throat tightening. Not from sadness, from the sheer polished unfairness of being asked to finance my own health while they bankrolled my brother's open bar. I already did. They are charging 18% interest. He went back to his tools. "You are resourceful. You will figure it out." I left the garage and sat in my Subaru for 20 minutes. I didn't cry. I had learned a long time ago that crying in this family was treated as a performance, not a communication. I called my best friend Simone on the drive home. They said no. I told her, "Maya, that's insane. You are having surgery, I know. And they are spending how much on floral centerpieces?" $11,000. She was quiet for 3 seconds. "Then I will lend you the money, Simone." "No. You are saving for?" "I am lending you the money. We will figure out payments, but you are not going into debt with the hospital because your parents are too busy playing Dynasty with your brother's wedding." I took the loan, $4,200. Simone transferred it the next day with a Venmo note that said, "For actual priorities. October 12th, Loyola Estate." The weather was perfect, 68 degrees, golden, sunlight leaves just starting to turn. I wore a burgundy dress I bought on sale. Simone came as my +1. The ceremony was beautiful. I will give them that. Vanessa looked stunning. Ethan cried during his vows. My mother cried during the father-daughter dance. My father gave a speech about legacy and family and building something that lasts. I sat at table 14. Not the family table, not even close to it. Simone leaned over during dinner. "Is that ice sculpture a swan?" "It's 2 swans interlocking necks." "How much does something like that cost?" "I don't want to know." The band played until midnight. The cake had 7 layers. Every single detail was documented by a photographer who cost $4,800. I went home at 10:30 p.m., kicked off my heels, and looked at my phone. Simone had texted, "You okay?" I typed back, "Surgeries in 4 weeks, then this is over." I had no idea how wrong I was. November 14th, I had to be at Belridge Medical Center at 5:45 a.m. for pre-op. Simone drove me. My parents knew about the surgery. I had told them the date 3 times. The morning of, my mother texted, "Good luck today, sweetie. You will do great." 3 words, an emoji, a heart, and a prayer hands. No offer to be there, no. Do you need anything? No, we are coming. Simone sat with me in pre-op while the nurse inserted my IV and went over the consent forms. Emergency contact? The nurse asked. I listed Simone. She raised an eyebrow. Not a parent? They are busy. The nurse didn't ask again, but I saw something flicker across her face, a small tightening around her eyes. She had seen this before. Dr. Brennan came in at 6:50 a.m. surgical cap, already on that calm efficiency surgeons have when they have done the same procedure 200 times ready. I nodded. We will take good care of you. You will be awake in recovery before you know it. The anesthesiologist introduced himself, tall guy. Soft voice said his name was Mark. He explained what would happen, medication through the IV count backward from 10. I made it to 7. I woke up to white ceiling tiles and the steady beep of a heart monitor. My mouth tasted like metal. My abdomen ached, a deep bruised soreness that radiated up into my ribs. A nurse appeared, different from the pre-op, one older with glasses on a chain. Welcome back, Maya's surgery went. Well, Dr. Brennan will be in shortly. Simone was there. Sitting in the corner chair scrolling her phone, when she saw I was awake, she stood up. Hey, you are alive, barely. Doctor said it went smoothly. They got the cyst, sent it for biopsy. I nodded. Everything felt slow. Anesthesia still dragging me down like wet concrete. Did my parents call? Simona's face did something complicated. No, I closed my eyes. 20 minutes later, Dr. Brennan walked in. He had a tablet in his hands, and that look doctors get when they are about to tell you something you need to pay attention to. Maya. Good. You are awake. He pulled up a chair. Surgery went very well. We removed the cyst. It was about 8 centimeters larger than we thought. We also found evidence of stage 2 endometriosis, which we addressed. Okay, the biopsy will take a few days, but I don't see anything concerning. You will need to take it easy for 2 weeks. No heavy lifting. Follow up in 10 days. Got it. He stood. Then he paused. I do want to ask, your intake form listed your emergency contact. As he glanced at his tablet, Simone Derrick, not a family member. Simone's my best friend. Are your parents local? Yes. Were they aware of the surgery? The room got quieter. Simone shifted in her chair. Yes, I said. Dr. Brennan nodded slowly. Then he said the sentence that detonated everything. It's just unusual. We had another patient recently, similar situation. Family prioritized a wedding over medical support. It stayed with me. I stared at him. What? I am sorry, I shouldn't have. No. What did you just say? He sat back down. 3 months ago, we had a young woman in for an emergency appendectomy. Her parents didn't come to the hospital because they were at her brother's rehearsal dinner. She told the nursing staff they had said the wedding took priority. He looked at me. When I saw your chart, the situation felt familiar. Simone spoke Maya's. Parents spent $38,000 on her brother's wedding. She had to borrow money from me for this surgery. Dr. Brennan's jaw tightened. Just slightly. The kind of thing you would miss if you weren't watching. I see they knew about the surgery, I said. My voice sounded far away. They just didn't think it was important enough. He was quiet for a moment. Then, Maya, I am going to be very direct with you. What you are describing is medical neglect. If you were a minor, I would be required to report it. As an adult, you have autonomy, but I want you to understand what your parents did, choosing to financially support a celebration while leaving you to manage a necessary surgery alone. That's not normal family dynamics. That's a failure of care. The heart monitor beeps filled the silence. I need you to hear me. He continued. You deserve better, and I am documenting this conversation in your chart. Simone drove me home. I slept for 4 hours. When I woke up, I had 7 texts, 3 from my mother. Hope everything went well. Let me know when you are up for visitors. Dad and I are thinking of you too. From my father. Glad surgery is over. Rest up, call when you can. One from Ethan, Mom said you had surgery. Hope you are okay. And one from Vanessa, Ethan's wife, sending healing vibes. I read them twice. Then I opened my laptop. I typed for 40 minutes. No editing, no softening, just documentation. Email sent November 14th, 7:48 p.m. Subject, we need to talk. Mom, Dad, I am out of surgery. It went well. The cyst was removed. I will recover. I wanted to let you know that my surgeon, Dr. Brennan, asked me today why my emergency contact wasn't a family member. When I explained that my best friend was there because you weren't, he told me about another patient whose family skipped her emergency surgery for a wedding event. He said what you did prioritizing Ethan's wedding over my medical care is classified as medical neglect. I am not writing this to punish you. I am writing because I need you to understand what happened. You spent $38,000 on a wedding. You paid for ice sculptures, a 7-tier cake, upgraded centerpieces, a band, and a honeymoon bonus. You did this while knowing I needed $4,200 for surgery and couldn't afford it. I borrowed the money from Simone at 0% interest because she's a better family member than either of you. Dr. Brennan documented our conversation in my medical chart. He told me I deserve better. He's right, I don't know what happens next, but I know I can't keep pretending this is normal. Maya, I hit send, then I turned off my phone. My mother called 16 times in the next 2 hours. I didn't answer. At 10:30 p.m., my father showed up at my apartment. I heard him knock 5 times steady, insistent I didn't get up. He slid a note under the door. I read it the next morning, Maya. We need to talk about this in person. You are upset. You are recovering. Let's not make this bigger than it needs to be. Dad, let's not make this bigger than it needs to be. A surgeon called it medical neglect, but sure, let's not make it bigger. The next email came at 6:14 a.m. Subject, I am heartbroken. Maya, I have been awake all night. I cannot believe you would send an email like that. After everything we have done for you, after raising you, supporting you, loving you. Yes, we paid for Ethan's wedding. He is our son. It was important to him, to Vanessa, to our family. You are making this about money. It's not about money. It's about you. Always needing to be the center of attention. We texted you. We checked in. We said good luck. What more do you want from us? You had Simone there. You were fine. I don't know what that doctor told you, but medical neglect is an insane accusation. We are not neglectful parents. You are being cruel. If you want to have a conversation like an adult, we are here. But I will not be accused of failing you when I have given you everything, Mom. I read it twice. Then I forwarded it to Simone with one line, "Is this real?" She replied in 4 seconds. Oh my God. Simone came over that afternoon with soup and the kind of clarity that only comes from someone who has watched your family for a decade. She is not going to apologize. Simone said, I know she is going to make this about her being attacked. I know. So what do you want? I set down my spoon. I want them to admit. It just once I want them to say we chose wrong. We should have helped you, Simone nodded. Do you think that's going to happen? I looked at the email on my screen. You are being cruel. No? Then you need to decide what you are willing to accept. Because they are going to show up here. They are going to cry. Your mom's going to bring casserole. And they are going to act like you are the one who hurt them. She was right. They came 3 days later, November 18th, 2:21 p.m. My mother knocked softer than my father had. 3 little taps, I opened the door. Both of them stood there, my mother holding a grocery bag, my father with his hands in his pockets, the posture of a man who had been told he had to be there. We brought food. Mom said I stepped aside. They came in. Mom unpacked the bag, rotisserie chicken, mashed potatoes, the kind of meal she made when someone in the family was sick. We sat at my small kitchen table. Maya, Dad started, we don't want this to become a big thing. It already is. You sent an email accusing us of neglect. A doctor used that word, not me. Mom's eyes were wet. Do you know how that felt? To be told by my own daughter that I am neglectful? Do you know how it felt to be in surgery alone because you were too busy celebrating Ethan's wedding? Silence. Dad cleared his throat. We didn't think exactly, I said. You didn't think? Mom's tears spilled over. I texted you. I said, good luck. You sent 3 words and an emoji. Mom, what did you want? A parade? And there it was. The script I had heard my entire life. You are asking for too much. You are being dramatic. Why can't you just be grateful? I took a breath. I wanted you to be there or to help pay for it or to acknowledge that maybe, just maybe, my surgery was as important as Ethan's wedding favors. My father's face hardened. We are not going to apologize for supporting your brother. I am not asking you to. I am asking you to admit you didn't support me. They looked at each other. The silent conversation that long married couples have. The one where entire arguments happen in 3 seconds of eye contact. Mom stood up. If you can't accept our love the way we give it, I don't know what to tell you. She walked to the door. Dad followed. At the threshold, she turned. When you are ready to stop being angry, we will be here. They left. The rotisserie chicken sat on my counter still warm. The biopsy came back benign. Dr. Brennan called me himself, all clear, no cancer. The endometriosis is managed. You will need annual monitoring, but you are going to be fine. Thank you. How are you doing otherwise? I paused. You mean with my family? Yes, not great. He was quiet for a moment. Then Maya, in 20 years of practice, I have seen this pattern more than I would like. Families that allocate resources based on preference, not need. It's more common than people think, and it's always the one who is overlooked who feels crazy for noticing. I feel crazy. You are not. You are seeing clearly. That's different. After we hung up, I sat with that. You are not crazy. You are seeing clearly. I didn't speak to my parents for 2 months. Ethan called once. Mom's really upset. I am sure she is. Can't you just apologize? For what? For the email? For making this a thing? Ethan, I had surgery. They didn't help. That's not me making it a thing. That's a thing that happened. He sighed. You have always been so dramatic. Maya, I hung up. Simone asked if I regretted sending the email. No good at Christmas. I didn't go home. I spent it with Simone's family. Her mother, who I had known since college, hugged me at the door and said, "We are glad you are here. No conditions, no performance, just presence." My mother sent a card inside she had written, "We miss you, love Mom and Dad." No acknowledgement, no apology, just a Hallmark card and a gap where accountability should have been. Here is what I know now. Some families operate on a currency you will never earn enough of. You can be good, be kind, be low maintenance, be easy, and it won't matter because the system isn't designed to see you. It's designed to see them. My parents didn't forget my surgery. They just didn't prioritize it. And that's worse. Forgetting is an accident. Deprioritizing is a choice. Dr. Brennan gave me language for something I had felt my entire life but couldn't name: medical neglect, resource allocation, failure of care. I am not angry anymore. I am just clear. I see my parents now for what they are, people who love the version of me that doesn't ask for anything. And I am not that version anymore. I paid Simone back in 8 months, every cent. With interest she didn't ask for. I still teach 4th grade. I still drive the Subaru. I still live in my small apartment, but I don't sit at table 14 anymore. I don't send thank you notes for things that hurt me, and I don't light myself on fire to keep people warm who won't even notice I am cold. If you are the kid who got the text while your sibling got the trust fund, the one who got, we will see while they got, of course. I need you to hear this. You are not asking for too much. You are asking the wrong people. I am Maya. I am 29. I had surgery alone because my parents paid for a party instead. And the doctor who walked in didn't just treat my body, he validated my reality. Sometimes that's all it takes. If you have ever been told you are too sensitive for noticing you were treated differently, tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want to hear what happened when my brother asked to borrow money from me 6 months later, that story might be coming. Hit subscribe to Echo of Justice Stories so you don't miss it. Check the description for a video about another family who learned the difference between fairness and favoritism the hard way. You are not crazy. You are just finally seeing clearly.